Class. Matter. Top important. Subject. Matter. Potential wrong recipient of surrender, plus human condition. To the high-ranking official reading this. I, along with the other commanders, have received orders to surrender to whatever human force we were currently engaged with, to cease relations with the Krosin, and to insist and cooperate with the human government until you pick us up after the war. Though shocked and dismayed, I followed through. The terms were harsh. Many years of indentured labour to repair infrastructure, among other things, and they were rude throughout the negotiations. Nothing like the descriptions of humans from the textbooks. They even mentioned how they weren't going to follow their humane treatment treatise since we are not humans. And this brings me to my point. Upon some questioning, it turns out we did not surrender to the human government. They themselves acknowledged it. When I asked who then we were surrendering to, they stated we were surrendering to Victal. Victal Corporation. Of course, I asked what a corporation was. After much discussion, I found it operates similarly to a business. This does not make sense. Why would a business have an army? How does that even work? And that makes as much sense as a local fruit store conquering the highlands. When I mentioned this analogy, the Victor representative laughed and muttered something about a British East India Company or something. What kind of creatures are humans that even their businesses have armies? Do their children have armies too? Guess what? They do. Upon leaving the human compound, I saw a uniformed child barking orders to other children. And it wasn't something like moving supplies. They were firing their weaponry on paper cutouts of ourselves. How nerve-wracking. I still failed to understand how the force we were fighting with wasn't aligned with the human government. In fact, later when I asked where the first comer group, the human government our ancestors encountered, was in all of this conflict, they laughed. My associates claimed this is their way of expressing great amusement, and stated that the human government we mentioned hadn't existed for ages. Now, of course, the fog of war allows for plausible deniability, but denying your government exists? I'm afraid that he might be telling the truth. He then mentioned how there had been a human government, allegedly called Guter government, that existed before the war, but that it was very weak and only controlled the cities. I asked who then controlled the other lands. This is his exact response. National Identity Front, People's Liberation Front, Victor Private Military Corporation, Life & Co. Securities, Zatlin Autonomous Oblast, Fonts Oblast, various Scooter remnants and gangs, is a who's who out there. It dawned on me then. I asked if all the human forces currently fighting belonged to one group, Victal, or to all those groups mentioned. His exact response, "Oh boy, there's way more, but those are the major ones worth salt anyway." I now believe our military operation on Lunsk was doomed from the start. It appears to me that, due to our poor, spotty and outdated data on these humans, we have severely misunderstood the human psyche. Their children and businesses have armies. They live without the presence of a government. They are factionalized beyond belief, yet are coherent and steadfast in fighting us in the Krosin. It is unbelievable that a species can undergo such a change in such a short time. Once this war is fully over, I believe it is best for us to isolate ourselves until we fully understand these humans. As of right now, they are too unpredictable and unstable. Please send a quick reply. P.S. A couple of days after the negotiations, I keep on getting heckled by humans saying statements such as these. Why'd you nuke us? Why did you spray chemicals all over the Eastern Front? How did you engineer biodiseases? Why? I am not aware of any operation to release NBC material on Lunsk. What are these humans talking about? Was this some last-ditch operation? Or was this done by the Krosin? Description. Poor translation of cracked Spectalian comms after the mass Spectalian surrender. Comms messages describes disbelief after finding out they surrendered to Victal in Yuchen Oblast. Had to take some creative liberties, like with fruits. No idea what thing they were talking about. Funny how they had a Victal PMC explain to them our politics shit, lol. To do? Honestly, I'm not sure. But it sure shows how they didn't understand us, even though we fought a couple of wars already, lol. It seems that the Spectalians didn't know about the NBC pour-down. Perhaps the Krosin were responsible.